Hey, it's the Packaging Today show. It is February 11th. We're going live from Texas with Adam Peak.
Are we live?
We are
I
live.
was just getting two more things of brisket and maybe ordering a pair of cowboy boots. Yeah, look, they even had a little studio set up for me here. Amazing. In the lobby of the Hyatt Regency.
Saddle. I saw a saddle. Why don't you get up on that saddle for us?
Yeah, that actually almost got me kicked out of the hotel. I was before we went live, I was like, this horse sucks. It's not going anywhere.
Oh man. All right.
Brisket for breakfast.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing in Texas?
I just heard that everything's bigger here, and so I decided to hop on a flight. Like I was in Nashville at the SpecRite Summit, and they were like,
"Things are
like, you know what's better is Texas," and I was like, "Well, I guess we got to go check it out." So I came here, and I'm learning about label production software. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so nothing about packaging. So no packaging discussions are happening there.
I hate your face. Did I say that out loud again?
Even if labels are big, they're still questionable.
Labels are still not packaging. And then we got Corey, Sustainable Packaging Podcast host.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy? And then you've got me, Evelio Matos, host of Packaging Unboxed.
Can't hold my phone steady, guys. This is so annoying.
You're gonna make us throw up.
Is this only 10 minutes long?
Yeah. And then what are we covering today? We're going to talk about polyethylene. We're going to talk about recycled PP. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff to do with packaging.
I love talking about recycled PP.
Yeah, we might even talk about labels.
I just got some. No, I meant polypropylene.
Yeah.
I didn't. No, that's not. Get out of here. Sorry. Had to explain what I was talking about to the locals.
We got 10 minutes. Let's get through
7.5 minutes.
Yeah, we got less time now. All right, man. So saw this today. This is a Chinese artist who's using PE to create, to recycle and then create these items. Part of it was like he felt that we're finding a lot of turtles that are confusing plastic bags for jellyfish. So we created these jellyfish. I don't know.
They're beautiful.
They're super nice.
So that we can throw them in the ocean. Is that why he was like, if they're already confusing them for jellyfish, we may as well turn them in to real jellyfish?
Yeah,
because I heard that fish actually, that plastic's good for fish. I don't know.
That was Krista Arment, sort of a friend of the show. He said that plastic actually, when it goes through the fish, will collect the toxins in the fish and remove them.
Yeah,
so it could be potentially healthy for them. We do not agree with that, but
no, we do not
disagree.
Yeah. One star. Do not recommend.
Colossal failure.
I wonder if that's something they could put into mass production and reuse packaging materials. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. But I think going counter to your positivity, Corey, because I love going against your positivity.
You're always bringing me down.
I am. I'm bringing you back down to earth. I think as cool as this stuff is, and you get to talk about sustainability and recycled plastic and all these things, these are not solutions, right? These are kind of like these little side streets that help bring up the conversation about plastics and recyclability, but they're definitely not the solution. So even though we get to see them, people celebrate them, like, oh my God, look what we can do with all these plastics.
Yeah.
When you're done with this stuff, it still has to get recycled, right? So it's really about promoting recycling. I think that's the big key, is actually recycling, reusing, and eliminating some of these materials as much as possible.
I heard somebody say on a long enough timeline, it all ends up in the landfill.
Yeah, Genius said that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, was that Evelio is right? I think
Evelio is right.
Yeah.
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 So I don't know. So like, what do you think about like reusing some of these plastics for some of these little, art projects, sculptures? things that don't necessarily reuse the product.
I think it brings attention. It brings attention to the problem, and I think that's the benefit.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's not a long-term solution to in perpetual problem that we have here with waste, but it brings attention to the fact that there are materials that will last for hundreds of years that could be used for other things that we're throwing into a landfill.
Yeah. I mean, it's neat, and that's kind of it. I mean, it's just like, because if you're going to make art, right, then make art out of stuff. You have to. And so if you're going to use plastic, then great. But like, we can't art our way out of a plastic crisis. Like we
Let's
have to figure out.
Be sure to
like,
clip that for the show. That's good.
Yeah, that's the name of my new book. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
We can't art our way out.
We can't art our way. It's just not going to happen. So it's cool, whatever. But it's not like you said it perfectly, Avelio. It's not a solution. We're not going to sell a bazillion jellyfish lights and collect all the plastic in the world and then keep making them.
Yeah. What we really need is that original Superman where he like grabbed all the warheads and like spun them around and threw them into the sun. Like we need that kind of a solution. Just let's get rid of everything.
Where is Superman these days? It's like so disappointing.
I don't know. He's probably trying to collect all that pee-pee.
He never saves the world anymore.
Guys,
John Gregory coming in with, we just switched a part of our package product from BOPP to 80/20 PCR PE film, and that will likely continue into 2026.
Nice job, great, John. Yeah,
with the assumption that more retailers will offer in-store collection and that consumers will actually bring back packaging to the stores.
Yeah. That's a great initiative.
The recycling of polypropylene is increasing dramatically, I've heard, and that's too. But you're right, John. That's a great step today.
So for anybody that's listening, Adam Peak, what is BOPP?
It's bi-oriented polypropylene, and
what was the first words?
Bi-oriented, I believe, or biaxial oriented. I don't know. It's a material. Yeah, it's bop. It's bop. It's very delicious when mixed with some Hansen's tea and juice. No, it's oftentimes used in it's the most common label material. Labels are packaging in clear or white. You can also get it metallized. It's used in a lot of cans, a lot of shampoos, a lot of conditioners. It's the least expensive of the films.
Okay.
And there is a way to manufacture it without using any fossil fuels now, where they use the lignin from the pulping waste, biaxially oriented, there it is, where they use the lignin from the pulping waste and then turn it into a BOPP film.
Okay. So then what would be the benefit of going from a BOPP film that's using fiber, right, the lignin, to then convert it into this, to go to an 80/20 post-consumer recycled PE film?
PE films oftentimes can be curbside collectible, whereas PP, so many people around me, they have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm standing in front of a light booth. Where PP recycling is not very good right now. It's getting better for sure, but PP films, sorry, cannot. But PE can be. So it really, Chris, at least in label materials, it's really a product of like the function of the surface that you're putting it onto. And so, and then what process does it go through afterwards? That really determines the label material, the adhesive, and then if there's any kind of laminate or coating that has to go on it. So it's hard to say. It's always better to use a BOPP or a polyolefin or a PET because it's all dependent on the use case of the label.
And then John Gregory saying that BOPP is not currently H2R recyclable.
Nope. John Gregory is correct.
The negative in the switch from BOPP to PE is that PE is not as transparent.
Yeah,
Right,
PE
so-
is known as they're a bunch of liars, and so transparency is tough. They make great politicians, the PEs.
Would you say they're opaque?
Yeah, they're just not. It's just not clear with them. You know, like they never.
So the challenge is if I've got
I love it.
like a peach colored product and I put a BOPP film over the top of that, I'll be able to see this color shine through. If I put a PE film over the top of it, it might be a little milky.
Especially if it's PCR, then you're
Hmm.
gonna get it. It's
I know,
gonna have
gray.
a little bit more of a gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say it's not currently H2R recyclable. And I think that's really interesting that people are referring to the how to recycle label as kind of a primer for if it's recyclable or not.
Is it primer or primer?
Premiere?
I think it's Premiere. It's Premiere.
First
Yeah.
time. It was the first time, so it's the premiere.
Perfect. And then we got Hugh saying you have to take into account the container type when choosing label materials. That, as somebody that
Boy,
doesn't
we're
use
sure are
labels,
talking a lot about labels on this packaging today, if I might say so myself.
we really are. We've got to bring it back to packaging. So,
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Texas, everybody, where we talk about labels as packaging.
That's a huge label behind you.
that
It's
is a damn
massive.
label.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
don't
big
do
deal.
things small here.
Hmm.
So, when you're choosing labels, right? Do you start with the material, the effect that you want, or the material that you're applying the label to?
Always the application first.
So, if I'm
You
gonna
have to
design
know.
something, I got to know what is going on.
Yes,
Why is that?
because a label that falls off of a product is useless. So you have to know that it's going to stick, and you have to know that it's going to go through whatever process it is. So I made a label once. I didn't ask this question, so you learn from your mistakes. I found out later it went through a HPP process. It was like a juice, a cold pressed juice, and it came out. So they labeled the product, put it through an HPP pasteurizer,
What's HPP
and
pasteurizer?
high pressure pasteurization. It's used in a lot of like cold juices, guacamole and stuff like that. Extends the shelf life by a lot. And when it came out of it, the adhesive was still on, but the ink had come off and the face stock had come off. And so we were like, oh, we thought that you labeled it after HPP. And they said, nope. So it's a beautiful label. It went on really clean. It would have been fine afterwards, but we didn't know the entirety of the process. So we ended up having to find a different label material to accommodate for that process.
Okay, so then if I'm designing a label, I need to know what the material is. It going on glass? Is it going on metal? Is it going on plastic? Do I need to know what kind of plastic it is? Will it?
Yes.
So it'll react differently to different types of plastic. If I'm doing like a milk jug or like a slick, simply orange bottle, like with that kind of stuff, it'll react. Okay, so I need to know exactly what it's going on, then the process that's being applied in, or the stage that it's being applied in.
Yeah, are they hand applied? Or are they going through a machine application? How
heat?
fast? Yeah, is there heat? What's the surface temperature?
Moisture
I mean,
content, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
even something like if it's a piece of plastic, is it flame treated on the surface? Because a lot of times they'll apply silicone to eject it from the mold, and the silicone residue will be left, and so a label can't stick to silicone. That's what a label liner is made out of.
Mm-hmm.
So then the labels don't stick if you have the wrong adhesive. So there's like over 80 different types of just label adhesives that are available.
Even removable, which is really cool.
And that's something you would choose beforehand, right? So like I need to know the material that's going on, the process is going on with, the different steps, and then how it's being applied. And then do I want it to be removable for recycling, or do I like what else? Like
Either for recycling, or if you want to reposition it after it's been applied, because these things are applying at a pretty rapid rate. My arm's getting tired. I thought we were at 10 minutes. I had trained for 10 and we're at 15.
We're going for 45.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I will say that's why there's over 60 people at an event. The CERM user group is because it's an MIS system that helps automate some of this information into a production facility. Because if you think about how complicated it is for a customer to decide it, well, now you have to make sure that you have all that information captured and able to print a label successfully and to do it repeatedly over and over and over again. And so you have companies like CERM, where I'm at, that have been building this for a few decades over in Europe. They're bringing it here to the U.S. Seeing a lot more label printers and folding carton printers and flexible packaging printers using it, because it is not easy. It's a pretty complex process, even for a sticker.
Yeah, that's not packaging. Amazing. Awesome, guys. All right, let's wrap it up. We did go over 5. We'll see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.